What's up guys, Omni here. You guys know how it goes, another day, another video. Last night I tweeted I sleep. What recent news, topics, tweets, videos y'all want me to talk about tomorrow? Oh yeah guys, today is Monday, November 6th. It's exactly 1 week from last week and 1 week before next week. I don't think today is anything special. So let's just jump into it, okay? We have an update from Jacksfilms. You guys know the whole situation that we talked about last week, I think, or the week before that. When it came to Leah, aka Ssniperwolf, a YouTuber who basically makes, low effort react content. She doxed Jacksfilms. She went over to his house, she took a picture of his house, recorded a video of his house, and then posted it on her Instagram with millions of followers. This then led to a movement where everyone said, hey, YouTube, hold her accountable, and they slapped her on the wrist with a 1 month no monetization, okay? So basically nothing, okay? Because a person who has money does not care if they, can't make some for a little bit of time. Meanwhile, you got Jacksfilms here, who is probably freaked out about this entire situation because his safety is kind of at risk and it probably putting him on edge. So he has dropped an update video. It's titled What Comes Next. It's on his second channel called JJ Jacksfilms. It has 1.1 million views in 2 days, 148,000 likes, highly liked. Let's see what he has to say.
Hey everyone, long time no chat.
Hey buddy.
These last few weeks have been pretty rough, to say the least. Aaron and I are okay, but we're just in this weird limbo of scared to leave our home and strongly considering moving. So
right.
It hasn't been great. But we both want to thank you all for your incredible support during this time. We've read your messages, and I can't begin to tell you just how much we truly appreciate them.
I'm already kind of frustrated just 20 seconds, 30 seconds in because this whole situation has put Jacksfilm and his family at risk where now they have to look over their shoulder. There's a lot of crazy people out there that go around and just doing things that they should not be doing for clout just because, they just want to do something because they're bored and they want to ruin some people's life. Okay, there's too many people out there like that. We talk about them all the time. So yeah, for them to be like, okay, now we're exposed to these kind of people who might want to do us harm or who might want to do some kind of troll or do some kind of prank. Pranks are going absolutely wild, even in other countries. This is a terrible situation for him to be in with his family because, he's got to look over his shoulder and have to also think about if he has to move as well. Whereas Leah's just sitting home, laughing, chilling, sipping mimosas because this punishment that YouTube has given her has done absolutely nothing to her.
Deciding on what to do with this channel and how to move forward, but in the meantime, there's something I'd like to try that's consistent with our mission of crediting the creators. So for the time being, here's my plan.
Okay.
If you're a creator and you're open to the idea of me watching your work live on stream, providing critiques and feedback and tips, then please send us your stuff. We have a Google form linked in the description below, so fill it out if you want me to take a look at your work.
Okay, hold on, wait. That's pretty cool. Let me look at that. So Jack sounds like he's just doing a Ssniperwolf 2.0, like the good version of Ssniperwolf, because we're in an era where people are reacting to content, and that reaction is kind of just staring at it and being like, whoa, that's crazy. And then that's it. That's literally just the extent of it. But he's saying if you guys want your video reacted to, here is a way for you to submit it. That way you actually have the consent. And it sounds pretty cool. I wish YouTube has some type of toggle, that kind of allowed people to be like, hey, do you want your video reacted to or not? Because if we see your video on someone else's channel, then, that's hard to do too as well, because then you got fair use, right? And fair use, basically, laws say that you can, react to other content as long as it's transformative. But the concept of what is transformative is so kind of vague that it doesn't always necessarily get applied. Most of the time for a lot of these big people, I think especially for Leah, aka Ssniperwolf, there's no way that her content is transformative. It's just whoa, a card, that's crazy, and that's it. It's not providing anything of value at all. I don't think it's transformative. I think it's stealing.
It could be old, it could be new, it could be on YouTube, TikTok, whatever. And then on top of me critiquing it, we're also going to play bingo with your videos. There are spaces like great thumbnail, editing goes hard, chat loves your vid, etc. Now, obviously, I'll shout out the creators. I'll link to them in the description once the series starts. But most importantly, I'll only react to videos from creators that consent to me reacting to them. I'm not going to go to TikTok's For You page and just grab whatever has 1 million likes. And on the flip side, if you're brave enough to send me your work, I'm not just going to stare at it, jaw agape, and go, man, that was something. I aim to constructively pick it apart, do deep dives, tell you what works and what I think could use some work.
So it feels like, again, like I just said, just the good Ssniperwolf. I like it. Jax has been around for a while, and he's always done like community contributed type work where, like yesterday I asked you, where he has his audience come in and he asks him a question and he answers and he responds. And I like how even after years and years down the road, he's still doing the same thing, but in a way that's also for good as well, trying to address the whole reaction content and people having their content stolen. Jax is he's a treasure, man, and it's just terrible that he's been treated the way that he did. I feel like this is still like a kind of like an injustice in terms of the final result, and I just hope, you know, that everything between him and his family turns out okay. He's actually starting his stream today over on his Twitch channel if you guys want to go give it a visit, where he's doing all the contribution. It'd be funny though, meta wise, if someone submitted my video and he reacted to me reacting to him, I'd be like, nah, don't do that, okay? I don't want to be I don't want criticism, okay? I'm small, I am baby. I don't want nobody looking at me and judging me because it will hurt my feelings. So this is pretty wild news, and it probably affects you or somebody you know at home right now, okay? If you guys don't know, there's a housing crisis, okay? You or somebody you know cannot afford to buy a home, okay? Maybe you're thinking about buying a home. Maybe you are currently trying to buy a home. Maybe you were trying to buy a home and you gave up. This applies to you, okay? As of yesterday, okay, there's a chart here that shows mortgage applications to buy a house from 1990 over to the left to 2024, 2023 over to the right. And apparently, as of yesterday, for this month, for the past week, it is the lowest level of mortgage apps to buy since 1994. In the past 30 years, we are in one of the worst shapes ever when it comes to activity in the housing market. This means many things, even if you're not actually in the housing market. And let me explain it to you. Just a quick couple of minutes of something that's probably going to actually impact your life. What's basically happening here is interest rates, and inflation is just too high. And nobody can afford to buy a house because the price of homes are also high as well. When all of these things happen, it creates a bit of a market freeze, okay? Because nobody has enough money to basically to afford a home. On top of that, if you own a home, you don't want to sell it because you would then be buying a house in this market. A lot of people are sitting on homes that they want to get rid of, but they can't because their interest rates are so low that they feel like they would be at a disadvantage if they sold it and came back into, you know, joined the rest of us and got a super high interest rate where their mortgage gets doubled. So it's a lose-lose for everybody, and it's creating a freeze where basically mortgage loan originators and real estate agents can't work. They're not getting any money because no one's got any money. Some of you are probably thinking and looking at this chart and saying like, Omni, okay, so since we're down here, right, is it going to do what happened over there on the left and everything's going to go skyrocketing and go up? And is that, you know, should I start making investment decisions based on that? And the answer to that is, I don't know. If anybody ever tells you a guarantee that something's going to go up or go down when it comes to the financial or investment market, okay, they're lying to you and they want your money. Nobody truly knows unless they have, like, you know, access to insider information, which I'm pretty sure is a thing that is a thing. Now, if I still have your attention, okay, what I'm about to show you next is probably going to it's going to make your toes curl, okay? This right here is a infographic. It's a chart from Redfin, okay, the real estate guys, and it shows the price of a home in Seattle metro area, the monthly mortgage payments, okay? As of late October 2021, that's only 2 years ago, interest rates were at a low of 3.14%. That is absolutely super duper ridiculously low. And it was only 2 years ago, okay? If you bought a home 2 years ago, you're probably big chilling because if you look over to the right, if you bought a home that was around $720K, you're only paying $3,200 a month for that home. Now, let's fast forward to today, which is late October 2023. Interest rates have more than doubled. If you look over here for fixed rate homes for 30 years, mortgages for 7.76%, okay? That means that that's really bad here for a home that would be $774, which is about $50K above the price of the median home. But you see here's the median home seller price, which is showing that at least $50,000 increase in terms of the purchase of a home, okay? Just in the Seattle area. It's not all areas as well, but the monthly mortgage for a home that's as similar as that would be $5,000. $5,000. That's comparatively, that's the deal that you would have gotten 2 years ago. You'd been paying $3,200. Now for almost literally the same deal, you'd have to buy it at $774 and you'd have to pay $5,000. That's disgusting. And that's it. I just wanted to show you guys what's happening with the housing market, because it is an indicator of how things might be going in the future, especially when things are reaching all-time low. People feel like this could be bubbles. This might be a time where you might want to put your money in something liquid if you want to make some decisions. It can also be a time where you might want to start saving and just wait for things to occur. People are not spending money in the housing market, and it's a disaster out here on these streets. So if you don't own a home, man, don't feel bad, okay? I feel like it's being done in a way where ownership might be taken away from like the middle class. The middle class is suffering right now. Meanwhile, people who have like a lot of money are out here gobbling the houses. Investors using cash to acquire all of the homes that other people can't get because they don't really care about money, giving them more ownership over time and keeping that generational wealth where they feel like they should keep it, okay? It's not good. So yeah, just a quick update. I don't have any good news. All I can tell you is that there might be some things moving in the future because we are now at an all-time low. It may get lower, might go higher. I'll keep you guys posted. All right, guys, we got to talk about this. We have a little bit of more MrBeast drama yet again. He just dropped a banger video on his main channel that people are canceling for, apparently. Mad Hatter and a lot of you guys said MrBeast digging 100 wells in Africa for clean drinking water. That's right. My man went over to Africa. He gave some kids some water, and now we got to cancel him. How dare you, Jimmy? People look at him as the Antichrist, say that he's problematic, say that he's profiting off of people who are impoverished and poor and just taking advantage of them. Man, there's all of these arguments, right? The most recent one seems to be a little bit more political in nature. That's right. We're going to dive a little bit into the world of politics, okay, when it comes to MrBeast and his his helping of people. We have some actual commentary from people of Kenya and people talking about why what MrBeast is doing is awful. This comment here reads, I have just skipped through the MrBeast video. Here's the thing, okay? So long as Kenya and similar countries in Africa continue being exploited by our own leaders, we will always be left vulnerable to ethical predators like MrBeast and others in the NGO world whose main line of business is to make money off third world poverty pimping. Dang. Poverty pimping. I didn't even know that was a term, but dang, my boy MrBeast is he's a pimp. I don't know if it's fair to call MrBeast a poverty pimp or a third world poverty pimp. I mean, he goes around giving lots of people money from everywhere. In America, all around the world, he's giving money to every single person. But for the most part, I guess I can agree that he does give money to poverty. But again, like, I have a hard time seeing the issue of giving people who kind of need money, as a problematic thing. Okay. But I'm going to try to be objective here. All right. I'm going to not be biased because I do feel like what MrBeast does is a definitely greater good when it comes to the world. I do think that helping kids have, drinking water is a net positive to this absolutely terrible freaking world. But let me just back up before I start putting my own values of what I think about what Jimmy does. Let me kind of look at this again objectively to see if they have a point. Whether MrBeast is genuinely trying to do something noble or whether he's just putting on a show for views isn't even the point. The point is the fact that we as a people continue to be left exposed to people like him. You're not going to reach the moral sensibilities of MrBeast. The guy is probably just another typical Mzungu who's trying to paint himself good by making a bunch of Africans smile on camera for his majority white viewers. Okay, it's interesting. I remember seeing a thumbnail, and if I can remember it, I'll show it to you guys here on the right, where it was this guy, this YouTuber. Okay, we actually talked about him recently, where he went to Japan and started, breaking all these laws. He had a video where there's this white guy, and his arms were out. I think he's a white guy. He looks like a white guy. And there's like all of these like black children who are like, he's like, I went to Africa and helped all of these blackies and all these little children. I'm like, oh my God, is that a real thumbnail? That is absolutely wild. So there are, people who go to these third world countries. Okay. They bring their cameras, they go to these terrible villages and they're like, hey guys, look at this terrible village, man. They got nothing. This is absolutely wild. This is sad. And they play all this sad music in the eyes of an angel, and they kind of show it off, and then they're like, all right, cut off the camera, and they dip. All right, let's get the hell out of this household, okay? And they profit and they monetize off of kind of just showcasing how people are just poor. I get it. It's a thing. Not everyone is using it for good. A lot of people are exploiting that kind of situation. Okay. I can see that point of view, me here being objective. It says here, yes, those poor Kenyans now have a little better access to water, but they've also been left with reaffirmed Mzungu equals savior mentality. So they're saying that these Kenyans will feel like, Jimmy came and saved them because they gave them some water, because that's what it feels like it did, right? Like... Somebody from somewhere else came and helped me out, and I'm thankful. I feel like they saved me because I was thirsty. Anyway, to continue, to begin with, those constituents who are having boreholes drilled for them by MrBeast are failing themselves and are their own worst enemies through their own complacency. Why haven't they marched to the offices of their governor/MP and threatened to bring their town to a halt until their county funds, which are supposed to pay for the drilling of those boreholes, are accounted for? So this person is saying, why aren't the people who are thirsty and hungry and sick protesting against their government, against their governments, and saying, why are you misallocating funds? Okay, spending money on things that should be helping us and doing things like what MrBeast is doing. Instead, it's going somewhere else. So I can see two sides of this, okay? Because number one, I mean, yes, I do agree that rebellions need to happen, okay? There's corruption in governments in every single government, okay? That's just how it works, especially in America. And there's protests here all the daggone time. And let me tell you, as a person who has seen a lot of everything happen here around the world, doesn't feel like it does much. Like, unless it hits like worldwide levels of protest, it feels like our tax dollars will continue to go to places where we don't actually feel where it should go. As right now, there have plenty of people who are highly upset that, yeah, our government sent billions of our tax dollars over there to go support Israel with this whole war. And it feels like there's nothing we can kind of do about it. And I imagine for a lot of people in these other places, and especially if the corruption runs deep, but that retaliation may not do them any good. In fact, it might hurt them. There's a lot of governments that kind of control their people with violence and threats. And yeah, I mean, like I said again, these people might be too sick or thirsty or hungry and not have the energy to do so. At the same time, I think what this person is saying is that if they are used to foreigners coming in and doing things for them, that they won't build that fire, that rebellious fire in their heart to push back against their governors, because they know that they are currently a breeding ground for all of these rich people to come out here and extort them. It seems to be the argument so far that I'm seeing from this person. And this is the same problem we see in the northeastern countries. The Turkana and the Somali governors of those areas are busy building high-rise apartments and Kilimani with county funds that are supposed to fix roads in those far-off regions, and the people will just murmur and complain and won't do anything about their governors. They should borrow a leaf from Kiambu County, where the folks there threatened to impeach their governors. Aren't there like legislation involved? Like, isn't there like checks and balances for this? This isn't like rely on the people to come out here with pitchforks, right? You should have like governing bodies who are keeping you in check. So if people are misusing funds, that they get called out. But the problem ends up being is that all of it becomes corrupt, right? You got governing bodies who are corrupt, looking over corrupt bodies, looking over corrupt bodies. And it doesn't leave a lot of options for the people who live there. Anyway, the last part of this thing said, secondly, the fact that we as a country continue allowing these Wazungu poverty tourists to come into our country and make videos off our downtrodden people. If our Ministry of Culture and Heritage were serious, such videos would be taken down the minute they are uploaded, and guys like MrBeast immediately escorted out of the country by immigration officials on grounds of soiling our country's image. I cannot imagine living somewhere, right? And I got no water, barely. I'm hungry and I'm thirsty. And somebody says, here's some water, here's some food. And before I get that water to food, my own people, my own country, okay, my own place or residence says, no, do not give these people anything. Get out of here, MrBeast, okay? And then that's it. You're not going to do it for me. So why am I not going to take this from this person who's going to give me the basic necessities of life, right? Why would you deny basic necessities, the core necessities, okay? Food, water, shelter, okay? Clothing. You're denying that from your own people that someone's coming to give you. That feels a bit sinister in my opinion. But again, let me keep right now, I don't like what I'm reading. And can you imagine that this is coming just 2 days after a global report claimed that Nairobi was the best city to visit this past year? Where's our government's national pride? But at the end of the day, so long as Kenya continues being Africa's NGO HQ and Cuba maintains the biggest slum in Africa title, expect more of MrBeast type to keep coming in. And look guys, okay, I'm not going to act like I'm an expert on these things because I'm not. I actually don't know too much about it. This is, I don't really like politics because it feels like it's always just a gotcha moment. I feel like it's a bunch of nerds who have read a lot of articles and they just have this belief and they're just like, hey, yeah, this is what it should be. And the other person says, no, this is what it should be. And here's an article and in Wikipedia. The other guy's like, actually, you're wrong. And here's another article and here's another opinion. It's like a game of Yu-Gi-Oh! And they're like, you fell for my trap card. Actually, no, you fell for my trap card. No, you fell for my trap card. It really feels like that. It feels so... It feels pretty lame in my opinion, just a bunch of people just trying to tell you that you are wrong and that they are right. And I don't like existing in that sphere. This feels like what I'm reading here as well. But let me just, I guess, give my opinion on what I see here without having too much knowledge. It feels like just from a human standpoint, we shouldn't be debating if it's okay to give people, like I said earlier, basic necessities. Okay, I don't think that we should be mad or arguing that somebody is coming out here and feeding, my family, water. Like I imagine the people who are actually getting clean water and clean food or any of these things, they're not complaining. I think they're happy. I think they're grateful that they get to extend their lifespan because their own country wasn't doing it for them. And I don't think that we should be angry at the country or them for someone coming out here and doing the right thing and helping to save the world. The truth of the matter is that some people are born privileged and some people are not. Some people are born rich and some people are born poor. And when you have people who have a lot of money who are giving it to poor people, I don't think that should be ever be a thing that we criticize and turn into a terrible notion. Okay, if MrBeast can incentivize people helping people who need it, I don't think that's something we should ever demonize. There's so many millionaires out there with plenty of money, and you know what they do? They specialize on hoarding, okay? They specialize on trying to figure out how to keep themselves rich and their friends rich and their people rich and their family rich and keep that money to themselves and make sure everyone else can't get it. So housing crisis, a lot of people feel like it's just, generational wealth where people are trying to make sure that the rich stay rich and the poor stay poor. Because at the end of the day, even though the housing market is frozen, it hasn't frozen for rich people. They're continually being investors and they're buying and they're buying and they're buying and they're owning and they're owning and they're gobbling it up like Monopoly because they are rich, giving them more equity, giving them more control. Okay. This is no problem for the people who already are doing well in America. So in a society that is capitalistic in nature, I feel like, in my opinion, that if you're going to profit by helping people who need help, I'm going to let it slide. I'm going to be okay with it at the end of the day because there are a lot of other people who are profiting off of capitalism and they ain't giving nothing back. That's my opinion. You guys can let me know how you feel about the whole MrBeast political shebang bang in the comments below. Okay. And if you drop any Wikipedia articles on me, all right, you nerd. Okay. I ain't going to read it. Okay. All right, guys. Peak has finally ended. Chef back and everybody wanted me to talk about this. Attack on Titan has finally ended and it crashed Crunchyroll. And that's right, guys. The end of an era, which is Attack on Titan. The final season came out 2 days ago. Part 2, the last 2-3 chapters or whatever. I don't know how you call it, but it's over. After a decade, Peak has finally ended. This is one of the most highly acclaimed anime of all time. Now, if you're here, guys, and you're worried and you haven't watched it, don't worry. No spoilers, okay? If you haven't watched it yet, you're worried like, Omni, don't talk about it. No, I'm not. No spoilers. You're good, okay? And if I see anything in the comments, you're getting banned forever, okay? I have one golden rule, and that's no spoilers, okay? If you spoil, I will come through the screen, and I will reach, and I will grab, and I will... Anyway, it's over, and everyone's talking about the ending. I'm thinking that it's either really, really good, or it's garbage doo-doo butter. It's a lot of people talking about the internet, so be careful if you're trying to avoid the spoilers. But a lot of people wanted to hear my thoughts, and this is what I'm going to do. At the end of the video, okay, after you guys are done and you watched all of the content, okay, I will drop my actual spoiler review in terms of what I think of the ending, okay? I'll give you a little bit of the details of what I think, but what I'll say in this segment is that after thinking about it, I think I like it. I think it took me a while to kind of process what I saw because I wasn't expecting it as somebody who doesn't read the manga, but I felt like over time when I thought about it, when I looked at everything holistically and thought about the show and the theme and what they did and kind of examined it one more time, I think I enjoyed the last couple of episodes, okay? I won't explain why, I'll do that at the end, but I think it was great. The thing is, guys, is that when it comes to like good shows or bad shows or any shows, and you know, Game of Thrones, okay? Show that everyone was loving and then it just ended terribly. There's a lot of good shows that have terrible endings, and there's a lot of bad shows that have amazing endings. Like when it comes to the show in itself, you might have peaked through the beginning of it, but you might have a crappy beginning or a crappy end. So sometimes it's hard to kind of put those two together. I think Attack on Titan has one of the best like first episodes of all time when it comes to just anime in general or just episodes and shows. I would say like Invincible is really good too as well in terms of a first episode. Attack on Titan, the ending was, I think it was pretty good. So guys, YouTube is back at it again, okay? Destroying our homies. This was a big one that a lot of you guys asked me to just, bring to some attention because one of our boys, okay, one of our gangs, okay, Lythero said, "Hi team YouTube, you've once again age restricted my video. This is the 4th time. All other times I've asked you to explain and then you remonetize it. So time to do this song and dance again. Why did you age restrict the video? Please explain right now." Okay, if you guys don't know Lythero, he's a goated YouTuber who makes really good videos when it comes to like fighting games, okay? Dragon Ball Fighters, Marvel vs. Capcom, anything. He makes really good, well edited, funny content. As a content creator, this is heavy. This hurts because you spend a lot of time, energy, and money to kind of create the best thing that you can create, and then to see like your rewards, to see your benefits of what you can do just get shut down by the actual platform that you're uploading for no reason. 0 reasons. He has done nothing wrong, and this keeps happening. This has become a pattern that's just, it's depressing. This is why a lot of people quit YouTube. Since this has happened, I think YouTube actually finally sent an email to Lythero, like something to say like, hey, maybe there's something that can take care of it. I don't know. Like I've been yelling about it as well. I tagged the YouTube liaison guy and I said, yo, guys, stop. Get off your ass, okay? Get a human being to come and fly over to this man's house to say sorry, okay? I want a letter of apology. It's terrible. Here is the video in question, okay? And Lythero's got 630k views in 2 days, and believe it or not, that's small fry for him. He does much better. He makes really good content. He's almost at 1 million subscribers. You guys can come support him, man. Come watch the video. If you haven't heard of this guy, I assure you, okay? I don't vouch for a lot of people. This is one of the dudes that I assure you, you will not be upset that I introduce you to this guy, okay? My gang, he's my homie. He makes good content. Go support your dude. All right, guys, that's all I have for today's video. Okay, my arm is starting to hurt, so I gotta pause. I gotta stop, okay? Gotta pace myself, man. Otherwise, I'll burn myself out. So we'll take a break, and I'll see you guys, if not tomorrow, on Wednesday. But definitely going to try to hit you with a Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And if I can throw in some more or stream, then yeah, you'll see that, okay? And I'll be uploading more on the Omniverse as well on my Patreon if you guys want to support me there. So thanks for hanging out with me, guys. I love you. Take it easy. Peace. Psych. Okay, if you're here, we're going to be talking about spoilers when it comes to Attack on Titan. I'm going to give you guys 5 seconds. Okay, and then to get out, if you don't want to hear nothing, giving you some seconds, giving you some time, go ahead, close the thing if you don't want to be here, okay? Because we're about to get into it, okay? 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's talk about Attack on Titan, the ending, okay? Guys, I did a lot of thinking. And at first, I wasn't sure how I felt, but after I thought about everything again, I loved it. And let me explain why, okay? You can't really play any videos here, so I'm gonna try to find the clips of some of the kind of the craziest parts as well, and I'm gonna talk about some of my favorite parts as well, and why I think it was actually pretty good. This clip here is saying, I don't wanna die, I wanna be with Mikasa and everyone. This is the infamous scene that that everyone's talking about, where freaking Eren Yeager is basically a simp. You know, it says something that's completely pathetic, and everyone's like, wow, Eren Yeager, I thought you were so cool and rigid and cold. And then he's like, no, let me find the actual quote. So what we find out is that Eren Yeager, you know, he went into everyone's minds and brains and had a conversation with them, because every one of the Eldians are kind of connected through Ymir, the paths or whatever, so you can just have like conversations in other realms. He talked to all of these people, specifically the guys who were fighting him, and then he erased their memories, but then set it so that they would remember it again after he died. And here you have Armin, right? He was talking to Eren, and Eren was like, he was asking him, yo, Eren, what do you think about Mikasa? Don't you care about her and her feelings? He was like, whatever, it is what it is. And then Armin just boom, punched him in the face. And I like on Attack on Titan, even when everything's serious, even though there's mass genocide and 80% of the earth is getting destroyed, right? They still do the thing where they make those funny, goofy looking faces at like serious moments. Suddenly they start making all of these jokes. There was one scene where Mikasa was trying to find Armin on the bones of Eren, and they were talking about what type of Titan it was, like I don't know, they were just arguing about what it was. And she was like, it's that thing over there, it looks like a blah blah blah. They still managed to put in like really funny like Attack on Titan comedy, even though things are just going to shit. But he says, yeah, I'm sure she'll find someone perfect after you die, Eren. Okay, after you're gone, she's gonna be happy. She's gonna find somebody else and forget about you in no time. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, a breaking character, or at least the character that he's been trying to hide, is Eren Yeager saying, I don't want that, kind of with his cheek all messed up and his eyebrows going up and him tearing up saying no. Mikasa finding another man, question mark, then says, I want her to just think about me for the rest of her life. Oh my God. I want her to be hung up on me like 10 years at least. Now, look, okay, a lot of people are clowning Eren for this, okay? But in my opinion, this makes Eren feel a lot more complete. There's a lot of versions of Eren that you get. It's a very complex character because he already knows the future all the way from the beginning of chapter 1. We learn that that's absolutely crazy. Okay, so it's convoluted. He's trying to do his best to push Mikasa and everybody away from him so that he can do what he thinks is best for his friends. He was willing to kill 80% of the population just to make sure that his immediate friends now that he has can live a good life, because eventually it all goes to shit. After a bunch of years, it repeats. History repeats itself. We'll talk about that later. But I honestly don't feel like this is an L for Eren, especially when it comes to the story making of Attack on Titan, because it is pathetic. Like, but also my man is in love with Mikasa, right? But he knows that based on this future, this freedom, whatever he has of seeing everything, that he has no future with her. None. Zero. He can't make it happen. He's tried to break out of it. He can't, he says, and there is no way to not do it, and therefore he's, you know, he wants to be with her, but he cannot, and he's been trying to hide those feelings because it would make Mikasa feel worse. I'm sure Mikasa probably knows it, but like I liked it. I like it. I like that they didn't make him this like this mean, evil person nonstop, because that's, everyone knew that was uncharacteristic of Eren, but we couldn't figure out why the shift occurred, and he never really let himself be vulnerable up until this point. Let's talk a little bit about the post credits. Okay, so after everything went down, we're going out of order, but it's completely fine. After everything went down, they all lived a long and happy life, and they show a scene here with Mikasa. You know this is Mikasa because you can still see the scarf. She never gave it up. Eren told her to get rid of that scarf and forget about her. She never got rid of that scarf, and they buried her next to Eren. I think that she ended up marrying I forget the old guy's name. Dang, I don't know why I'm forgetting his name. Gene? I think she married Gene or was with Gene and they had kids. I don't know. But they kept visiting his gravesite, and I was like, oh man, that's wild to bury her next. Oh man, I think Attack on Titan is a love story. As the credits play, you can see the time skip where everything keeps going up, and then the economy and everything starts getting built up years and years and years and years and years ago, and then finally the world is at war again. The place that was just there, that was already torn down by Eren, got torn down again because Eren realized that even after he does all of this, sometime in the way distant future, it's all going to happen again. Basically saying that it's inevitable. We're always going to be stuck in this cyclical nature of destroying and then rebuilding, and then destroying and rebuilding, and you can't break out the cycle. There's this guy and this dog, I don't know who the hell they are, but they come out here and they find the tunnel, which is also the burial place where Eren is. And I think this is similar to how the beginning of Attack on Titan, well, not at the beginning of Attack on Titan, but I think this is how Ymir was discovered. Somebody came in there and found Ymir in the tunnel, fell down or whatever. And it all went happen again. I think it's suggesting that this could happen again. We don't know if it's going to have the exact same future, but that's kind of like up for you, the viewer, to understand. I think this was pretty cool. They can make another Attack on Titan. Just based on this gives them a room if they ever want to make Attack on Titan 2. It was great, man. If you think about too, the battle was absolutely freaking epic. Okay, one of the best battle scenes of all anime. I think everyone can agree in terms of the animation and the battle scenes, absolutely insane. When old dude came back on the bird to save everybody, everyone looked like they were going to die. Oh my God. When it looked like they finally cut off his head and then a little squiggly thing came out there and turned all of their families into Titans, I was like, no. Your boy Reiner was sitting there trying to hold him back, and he was like, well, do we have to keep suffering? I could not believe it. Gabby, their family, their moms, their dads, everyone we knew, we were like, please, hopefully. They all got turned into Titan, and I was like, there's no freaking way. This is too much. This is too much pain. Ryder was like, this is too freaking much. And I felt that to my core. All in all, I'd have to say it's peak. It's peak. I was joking about it not being peak because, I was thinking about how wild it was, the turn of events for it. But now that I review and think about it, this is peak. Attack on Titan will definitely go down as one of the best animes of all time. I don't understand why people are hating on the ending. I think there's a part where Armin says in the manga something about like, thank you for committing like mass genocide for us. And people thought this was garbage, but I like it. I'm happy. I think it was good. You guys can let me know. Not here. Don't in the comments. Do not drop any spoilers in the comments. We can't talk about it here. We probably have to talk about it on my Patreon or something. Okay. Be good and talk about it elsewhere. All right. Okay. Now this is the true ending of the video. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.